The Schluter good.
Hello, chat. If you're watching later, we'll be starting here in a second. Huh? Yeah, I like that. All right. There's stream elements. Oh, there's I forget Elspeth is right here, like really promoted by stream elements. All right. There we go.
I can do, for some reason now they roll out the whole like community thing to everybody who has a YouTube account, and now it's like, oh, you had tweeted on YouTube now. You can tweet on YouTube for nobody to see.
Wow.
I'm back.
Hey, there is everybody.
No, I'm sorry to everybody. I accidentally set the stream to start going 3 hours ago. That was my bad. Thank you.
You're 4 hours late.
Thank you, Sean. That was my bad.
All right. Hey, guess what? I've done that several times.
I mean, it's easy.
Yep.
I can see why.
Because everything else carries over from the previous week, except for the time.
So you're just pushing next, and then oops.
Yep.
All right.
What's
I haven't fucked up yet, so.
Well, perfect. Mr. Perfect over here.
You keyword there.
It's gonna happen eventually.
Great moments. Okay. Everybody, we're about to get started. I am just needing to do. What the hell did this? This has got to be from the other show.
Jeff, do you think like? Let's see. I wonder how many people sent us.
Oh shit! My phone.
What to say was that noise? So a lot of people shared pictures of their screenshot, Jeff. I don't know if you want to like.
Yeah, I'll get that set up.
Yeah, so that we can actually just see it from the Discord.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
My microphone was on the wrong.
And I'll message you.
Okay, did you turn on your camera?
I did.
You probably have. Do you have stream elements?
You know what? I have stream elements open. That's it.
No worries.
That's it. My bad.
Hey, and then what else do I need? I need to turn this to Nintendogs, and then I hit test this.
Hey,
there,
you guys hear me?
There's my pretty
Stop.
face.
Hey, you guys hear me? Stop.
Where's that going through? Why is that not turning to properties? Oh, yeah, sample doesn't have its own thing. Whatever. Okay.
You guys see that River City Girls 2 trailer? Holy shit!
Oh, it's so good.
With Abs Queen in it, and apparently it's the girlfriend who gets punched and shot in the Double Dragon intros. Hell yeah!
Thanks, chat. Fixing it now.
That's cool.
Marion, holy shit!
Sample.
I say this all the time, but like as a kid, Double Dragon seemed as important as any video game franchise. So it's weird to me that like,
hey, you guys hear me?
Much forgotten. While things like even things that aren't like updated all the time, like Castlevania, still a big deal, you know, from that era.
Double Dragon was pretty early on in the NES, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was very.
Yeah, you should only be hearing it once now, right?
Hey, you guys hear me?
I'm not hearing it at all.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't hear it yet. I'm still fixing them.
They fought with the Battletoads, and to be clear, Battletoads and Double Dragons on NES.
You guys hear me?
Now you guys hear it?
Actually better than the original Battletoads. It's basically Battletoads 2 in the NES.
You mean Battletoads NES? Like original Battletoads as in NES?
Yeah, so there's original Battletoads, and they made Battletoads and Double Dragon on NES, and it also had a 60-bit port. But
Battletoads Arcade is dope as hell.
Yes, it is. For sure.
Did you play that at Galloping Ghost?
I don't think I did see that there. I mean, I played it on Rare Replay.
Yeah, it's on Rare Replay, but I got to play the cab with friends because it's a 3-player cab. So that was
beat 'em up. I was really excited about, and Jeff can attest to this. Is they had Golden Axe: Revenge of Death Adder, and that game fucking rules.
That game rules.
I cannot believe they never ported that.
Yeah, we should just like play that on stream.
You could be a centaur lady, and it's so cool. Man, that game's awesome. We got like the most generic Golden Axe sequels on Genesis, and then on Sega CD we got a fighting game instead of this. Yeah, this game rules. Also, great name.
Yes.
Well, look at this slow washing in. Nice.
Okay. Let's see here. Fish and Love says Mike is the biggest fucking Chad.
I like how we both just have mustached weirdos from video games on our shirts today. We
Yep.
have the theme going.
Hey, it's Mustache Weirdos on Shirt Day here on the last of the Nintendogs.
That's me. I don't know
okay.
if you
Good
like
shirt.
it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's a pretty good shirt.
Well, Mike, it looks
Hi,
like
Fish. I noticed
looks like
you.
you're gonna have to do that pretty soon here, because if you're gonna do it in solidarity with me shaving my head, they have not announced Metroid, by the way, in case anyone
Shadow
hasn't
drop.
noticed.
I'm still
pulling.
Looked at,
What's that?
have you like asked about it again recently?
Just today, and basically it was like, well, it was supposed to, is what I got back. And they're like, but that it could have been pushed, and then I heard like we'll look into it, but
You're fucked.
yeah, and listen, I gotta shave my head.
Yeah.
When is the anniversary? It's like
November
18th or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say 19th, so probably 18th. Yeah.
I
Do it
mean,
for extra life.
All Stars was like what 2 weeks before it came out, so you got a little bit of time.
Let's not give up hope yet, Jeff.
No, I've not, or I would have shaved my head already. I'm not giving
That's
up
right.
hope. I still think it could come in
much
December.
hope. Just a fool's hope.
Yeah, just a fool's hope.
Hey, maybe move Mike down a little bit in the frame.
Move down. Move
Yeah,
down.
he was high the other day too.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
like,
listen, you
No,
know
he
what?
fixed it halfway
Game-
through.
I'm
I
gonna-
didn't notice either. That's on me.
Let's see here. Let's go studio mode, and then
Doing
I
what?
think Boss Fight Books is
Game
taking
Next Morning.
submissions November. I think I might pitch a book to them.
I should pitch a book too. What would I do? I would do the history of how Nintendo. They don't do these kinds of books, so I'd probably have to.
Yeah.
They say you can, but they say generally they like prefer single like game covering books. It's kind
Right.
of more
I would do the history of how Nintendo ended up getting the Silicon graphics deal.
That's pretty good.
I find that
That's
pretty
I
interesting.
mean, I bet if you pitched it, and also Jeff, like, they might know who you are. I bet they'd be happy to publish your book.
Yeah, maybe I'll go for it.
I was just gonna do Curse of Monkey Island because I know I can talk to all those people. I've talked to many of them already.
Okay.
Plus, I
I
had
do
that fan
not
site.
make sure Mike looks shorter than me. We always try to give ourselves the same height. You people just.
Apparently, I don't. Man, everybody says that. It's not just the weirdos in our chat. Everybody thinks I'm shorter. I don't know what it is. My
It's your short
person
neck.
energy-
I already told you. You had
I have a
you
short
had
neck.
short neck, and it gives you a
You're
stocky
right.
power.
Yeah,
It
you're
gives you
right.
that stocky, like, oh, this guy packs a
Yeah.
punch.
I do have a thick neck.
This guy's a
and I
little
have,
ball
like,
of hate.
and the beard makes it look smaller too. You're right. I don't have.
You
much
got like a
neck.
nice build to do boxing.
Mike's like
Yeah.
the exact opposite of
Like
an
I
Atlas
can see you
character.
like throwing some hands.
It's true. Let's drink. Oh, I got a Great Lakes Oktoberfest here. It's gonna be time for the Christmas beers soon. Not yet. Not
Okay,
yet.
I started seeing hockey or Christmas commercials during a hockey game tonight, so it's here.
Nice.
No, what?
It is.
No,
Okay,
stop it.
I like
I'm all
it.
about
I
it.
like it.
Too
I'm
soon.
gonna die one day, so I'm just gonna enjoy the things I enjoy, which includes
it.
Christmas.
There
Hell
you
yeah.
go.
Yep.
Hell yeah, baby.
Make it Christmas all year,
Yeah,
motherfuckers.
fuck it. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, there's
Let's do it.
there's a Sesame Street special about that where Elmo wishes for it to be Christmas all the time, and then it happens, and like everybody's miserable.
yeah. Yeah, everyone's
There's-
sick
The
of
Guardian
it.
of the
There's
Galaxy.
there's one of
Elmo
those
fucked up.
collection of Mickey Mouse, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on the podcast, Mickey Mouse, but one of the collection of Mickey Mouse Christmas things
Oh,
has
Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas or Twice Upon a Christmas?
one of them has the ones where the Donald Duck kids, whatever, Huey, Louie, and Dewey or whatever.
That's correct.
Wow, shit. They wish it to be Christmas every day, and then they just relive Christmas, and they're the
That's
only
right.
ones that know, and eventually they,
That's right.
they
Yeah,
learn
that's
a
from
lesson.
Once Upon a Christmas, which was in 2D.
Yes.
Twice Upon a Christmas was like the first major thing they had the 3D characters,
Really?
versions of the characters.
Oh, I didn't
Yes.
know that. Man,
Big deal.
trivia.
If you look at their Mickey, the Mickey still kind of looks awkward. They sort of figured out. For some reason, Donald looked good in 3D almost right away. I could go. There's a whole thing.
No, that's
If you-
fine. I'm doing the last little bit here. I tweeted already.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, send in your super chats, and we will get to
It's already been coming in. Thank you, everybody.
them before the end of the show, and I will pin that, and then we should be good to go. All right, I got Stream Elements here. I have the Discord there. Let me actually go into the Discord.
TJ hasn't messed up. If you see Mickey's Philhar Magic in Disney World, or is that in Disneyland anymore? I don't even think it is, but like it's called Mickey's Philhar Magic. Mostly stars Donald Duck because once again that was done very early in the days of them doing the CG version of those characters. And Mickey's in like the scene at the beginning and the end, and they even blurred the scene a bit because they thought Mickey looked weird still.
Man, that's fun. Okay, cool.
It wasn't until Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse they really kind of figured that all out.
Yes, he looks great in Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse. Okay, Mike, I'm ready to start. You ready to start?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me, there's that.
Oh, you know what? I don't have, here's my rundown there.
There's that.
I need to read this soon.
Let me just center that one more time.
Sans glasses today. We'll see.
Okay. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof! Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Jeff Woof.
Ruff, 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 woof, woof,
Yeah,
woof.
someone said they missed your woofing. Today, Bayonetta's Metacritic. Ooh, that's going to be spicy. We're not going to talk anything else about Bayonetta. Is there maybe a new Nintendog? I don't know. And we are talking about our favorite NES box art. Jeff, how is it going?
I'm pretty good. I'm feeling better than I was on Monday when I mentioned I was scatterbrained on the Game Mess Mornings show. I didn't do the ending the way I normally did. It's the first time I've just really beefed an episode at the end there, and I'm
Beef?
I beefed it. Yeah, beef. And
I didn't catch you in time either, so it's all right. I was supposed to keep you centered. I was the one going on about how with it I felt.
Well, it's fine. We had to get one of those out of the way, and now I'm like, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to do the show tomorrow. Already feeling good about it. Ready to get back in that grind, and I'm ready to be here. I did a bombcast earlier, and I'm like, I could still podcast. Let's do it.
Yeah, I had fun listening to the bombcast, even though there was still somehow even more.
My favorite
Mickey Mouse
segment
slander.
was an entire segment just dedicated to annoying one listener, and that being you.
Yeah,
just
can't believe that a group. Yeah, so for people who don't know, I got mad at Dan Reichert because Dan's like, kids don't even care about Mickey Mouse. Yes. I was like, okay, to be clear, kids care about Mickey Mouse. He's the most popular character in the world. He's like, oh, he's not more popular than Mario. I'm like, yeah, he probably is. Now, you're all disagreeing with that. I can't believe the podcast with 4 people who mostly consume video games for their living think that Mario is more important than Mickey, but hey.
I think that it was compelling to hear that there were a lot of Mario costumes at Disneyland.
No, that is interesting.
Because there probably wouldn't be a lot of Mickey costumes at the Universal theme park. To the Mario thing, if they did a costume thing.
That's not really a thing for anyone besides babies. Like dressing up as Mickey, people don't do that. Dressing up as Mario, very easy.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree. Mario. Right. You don't dress up as Mickey. You just put on the Mickey Mouse ears when you're actually at Disney World. Like that, that's fun. You don't need to actually do the whole costume. It's not case closed. I'm still very much on the fence. I know that annoys you because you are convinced that it's Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
It's literally like they use that. It's like a synonym for something that's famous or something, right? Like, come on. I don't know. Whatever.
It was fun. I had a good time getting up and dancing while they just kept going on and on. I mean, they were saying so much that was annoying you, and I was just like, this rules. Oh, man.
It's okay. It's okay. There actually has to be some statistics I can find. Remember we tried to find statistics? And it was like the most popular character in the world is actually Tommy Pickles. So that's a fucking lie. What the hell are you talking about? What did you...
That fucking ruled. That was the best, man. I forgot about that. God.
I mean, you poll 20 people at the Nicktoons convention? Like, how could that happen?
Oh, man. 20 people waiting in line for slime, say Tommy Pickle.
All right, Jeff, let's get going here. Everyone who's watching live, thank you so much. Give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that. You can leave a super chat. We will read it before the end of the show. We've got a few here already that we will get to. Thank you so much. First thing here, Jeff, Bayonetta 3's review embargo was actually earlier today. I didn't get to play it. I am still in Nintendo jail, and Ubisoft did not publish this one, so I wasn't able to get around the rules here.
Well, Mike, I also did not get to play it. We are also still in Nintendo jail, so yeah.
You never told me why.
I probably did. You probably forgot. It's it is related to no one who works there anymore. And,
Very cool.
And it was not even really their fault. They were a victim of a crime. Like that's it. That's
like someone like stole their console and posted like screenshots.
I don't want to get
into
the specifics because it's not my business, but it's just like not their fault and they should not have been punished, but whatever.
Incredible. Yeah. Wow. Well, good to know that if I'm ever like not at GamesBeat anymore, like people will still be punished for this very simple mistake I made years ago.
Yes, that's exactly right. It won't ever go away. It doesn't seem like until Kyoto changes their mind someday.
Well, Jeff, there's a lot of people who aren't in Nintendo jail. The game already had 70 reviews when I looked. Which, by the way, that itself seems like a talking point to me. I feel like there used to not be 70 people, 70 outlets giving scores to games when the embargo came up, right?
Yeah, that's a ton. I mean, listen, there is a lot of games media these days, a lot more avenues to get that stuff. So, but yeah, that's a big number for a game like Bayonetta, I think. Like, you can get into the hundreds of reviews for some of the biggest games in the world, for sure. But a game like Bayonetta seems like, it's big, but it's not the biggest. 70's a lot, especially on day one.
Yeah, and I think it probably helps that Bayonetta probably not the longest game in the world. It's on Switch. Everybody has Switch. There's a lot of Nintendo-only outlets like this one, technically, I suppose. That's what we should do. Holy shit, we should just ask for review codes.
I've been working
as last Nintendo's. I never even thought about that.
I did think about it. I've been working on it. It's not,
there we go.
Not been going great.
What the hell? We're like one of the top
they're like,
Nintendo
they know
podcasts.
we have full-time jobs, Mike. And so I'm like, well, it's coming from my game message email address. So it's a wholly different thing. And then they're just like, that's a cool story, bro.
To be clear, if I talked about Bayonetta 3 on here, more people would probably like hear that than would read my review of it.
I know. I've given them the numbers. Trust me. Yeah. I have not given up that angle, but I don't know. Maybe it'd be better if I had like. Maybe we should give one of the mods an email address and have them reach out.
Yeah, our PR person. Our PR person, Nick Turbo.
That would rule. Nick, you got a job now. Congratulations.
Yeah, great. Okay, so anyways, with all those reviews, you'd have to figure that's a pretty trustworthy average then. Well, the average is an 89. Pretty high stuff there, Jeff. Pretty high.
Now, okay, no. So I saw the 89. I think I saw this right when we were doing the Call of Duty quick look, and then I've not consumed any of the discourse around this. Can I guess what has happened?
You may, sir.
Is it not high enough because the previous games got like 90-ishes scores?
No, I don't think there's much of a discourse. I haven't really.
Okay.
I heard it. It's not
maybe that's why I haven't seen it, because there isn't one. People are like, no, that's a great score.
It's a high. To be honest, it only occurred to me just now. I double checked. Like, yeah, I almost forgot that Bayonetta 2's average was like a 92. That's the Switch version. The Wii U version was a 91 based off of 80 scores. I kind of forget that. Almost seems a little weird to me, Jeff, because like to me that's like, oh, that means that game must be in the conversation for one of the best games of all time, and I like Bayonetta 2 fine.
Bayonetta 2 is one of the best character action games of all time. Yes, I'll say that. But
yeah,
I wouldn't go much beyond that.
A lot of other things. Like if you put a gun in my head and tell me what the story of that game was, I remember there was like some little like kid guy running around. I remember
little kid guy, sure.
Yeah, Joe Pesci had Christmas presents in the beginning.
He definitely did.
And that is pretty much all I remember.
And then Bayonetta's hair is clothes.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
okay, well, stuff. Listen, that's the plot, Mike. That's what plot is. Okay, so I did also see Maddie Myers at Polygon say that she was very disappointed with the story and that the game has sort of shifted from being a game that maybe included women in sort of the viewing these characters to basically only being for men. In terms of how they view the characters, which I thought was always a possibility for these games going that route, and it just seems like that. Okay, now we're here.
That would be a shame, especially since it seems like I mean, you were kind of talking on a giant bomb, and I was kind of feeling guilty how like all the people who like The Sims are women, and to be clear, it's the same with me. And not to say that all women love Sims, or you can only like The Sims if you're a girl, right?
It's great that the game out there does just appeal to a different time. Yeah, absolutely.
But like, I thought there was some of that in Bayonetta. Like, I know a lot of women who love Bayonetta, and like, that's great. So if it kind of fails them on that front, that's a bit disappointing. Personally, I can't even. I don't even know what happens in the stories for these games. They kind of just go in and go out. So that if people are like the story's bad and that's the bad part of me is like, well, if the combat is good,
and the combat is good according to everybody. So
yeah.
Count me in.
I think this one review here said much better than the combat in Nier Automata. How about that, Turbo Sean? It's weird. Here's a quote actually from IGN's review by Mitchell Saltzman. Platinum Games has long been looked at as a leader in the character action genre, and Bayonetta 3 is a prime example of why. It's fast, reflex intensive, and features challenging combat that allows for a ton of creativity and expression when it comes to the ways in which you're able to dispatch your enemies. Both its story and its performance on the Switch are less than ideal, but neither are issues that are substantial enough to get in the way of its top-tier combat, out-of-this-world weapon variety, and inimitatable style. You can't imitate its style. We'll go with that. This seems to, you kind of brought this up, this seems to be the consensus. The combat is amazing, maybe better than ever. Story weak, and the performance, again, we run against this all the time on Switch, is getting kind of frustrating at this point. But not so much that people aren't still digging it. Again, 89, very high score. It only maybe seems somewhat like, maybe concerning isn't even the word, but again, Bayonetta 2 was a 91, so it's slightly lower than that. But
and you could see,
not.
I mean, I in my head, story and performance, 2 points. That seems right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how much I would dock it for that sort of thing. So I think the consensus here is probably correct. And with all that in mind, I'll enjoy this game, and I'll probably enjoy it as much as Bayonetta 2. Maybe there's a slight chance that I am forgetting how maybe entrancing that second game was because of its story and its characters, where I didn't know what was going on, but it had such an energy and so much just power pressing you through that game, because it really does just go. And if it doesn't do that side of things, that'll be a little disappointing. I'm guessing that the problem is probably not that side of things, and more just that the threads that have been going throughout the series are not, they don't close them properly, and people are feeling, a bit like, oh, I've waited a long time for this, and we're not going to actually do justice to these things. On that side of things, I don't need that as much as I just need the combat.
I mean, are Platinum Games stories ever, or are they usually good when they don't have sort of like a third-party person helping them? Like with Nier Automata, the story is very good. That's mostly
right.
Yoko, right? Am I saying that right?
Yoko Taro. Yep, Yoko Taro.
Yeah. And then Metal Gear Rise of Revengeance, there's probably, I don't think Kojima himself was involved a ton, but I think somebody from Metal Gear team was. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was actually mostly a Platinum person writing that one, but still. But yeah, it seems like very good score. Seems like it's going to be a good game. You're talking about review discourse. That was all happening because IGN gave Modern Warfare 2's campaign a 6 out of 10. So I think all the review discourse energy was spent on that.
That seems fair. I mean,
no, Jeff, we're bad. Well, you know what it was? Somebody had some Twitter account that's only about like Call of Duty, tweeted the classic, like, this is stupid because they gave this other game this score, and actually this is like better, right?
Hell yeah, my favorite genre of person on the internet.
Yeah, 2 different reviewers, and the person says this is by 2 different reviewers, and the guy's like, well, they should account for the fact that the other person said this, like it makes any sense. Turbo Sean said, Mike, we had an hour-long discussion which I explained who wrote Metal Gear Rising. See, I remember we had that discussion, Sean.
He's learning, Sean. He's learning.
Yes, and now if you could summarize who wrote it in about 3 words or maybe 4 in chat, I would appreciate that for me. Thank you very much. But I haven't played Modern Warfare 2 campaign, and that game is not on a Nintendo system, so we don't have to worry about that. Jeff, are you gonna play Bayonetta 3 like right away? Is it immediately on your to-do list or on your? I'll get to it eventually. Oh, it was a Konami guy who wrote it. See, so I was right. Point proven.
Mr. Konami, well done. That was a very well-written game, Mr. Konami. Etsu Tamari.
Mike remembers everything about every Disneyland ride. I remember important things. Yes, Uncharted Wolf. Good point.
Yes, I do look like Bayonetta. Absolutely. I got that. My hair is also my clothes. I am going to play this very quickly, if not immediately after it comes out. I will. Something about it just like screams holiday game to me. I might play it during December because I also really want to spend time with Sparks of Hope, which I keep putting off starting. So that's sitting there waiting for me.
I mean, the Bayonetta 2 literally opened with a Christmas like kind of a thing. So if this one does also, it would be perfect for Christmas time. So I'm kind of hoping it does. I have a hard time getting to it right away, Jeff, because I'm still like base playing Xenoblade every night. I was up actually till 6 a.m. last night because I started at like 1. I'll play a little bit of this, and then things were happening.
Man.
Like impossible to stop in the middle of things for almost 3 hours straight in that game. Emotionally devastating things. It was a lot, and there was literally no way I could have stopped in the middle of it. I would just have not been able to sleep. So I just had to play the game till 6 a.m. Literally no other choice.
Man, I can't do that. I'm glad I stopped playing that game. The game's very good, but I'm glad I stopped putting it down. Game.
Oh yeah, no way. I was even thinking that because like I was on like hour 63, and it feels like maybe I'm at the end of Act 2 and what is a 3-act structure like storyline wise. And yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I think
I'm glad that game exists for the people out there that can afford the time to play it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody in chat knows which part I'm talking about who's played the game. Yes,
yeah, people are saying yes. 5 and 6, and that's what actually what Hyam was talking about on Bombcast today. How he's through chapter 6 and he's like falling in love with the game because it's like devastating. He's crying. I'm like, oh man, okay.
Yeah, it gets intense, which is good because like in some ways, I guess I'm just doing this now, talking about what I've been playing. But in some ways, like some of the faults of the games are becoming like a little like sticky to me. Like now that I'm 60 hours into it. Like some of the dialogue sounding unnatural. Like there's a lot of like characters being like, you know, I'm Ouroboros. Then the characters pop, you're what? Ouroboros. You know, like this like that kind of like no one talks like this. There's also just I met some character, and I think people in chat can help me out here, named Gondor. And I need to know if everyone else think that Gondor is just the worst. Right, like very abrasive, awful voice. You do not know Gondor, and don't you dare make a Gondor calls for aid joke, or else I will drive over to Cleveland and punch you.
No, doesn't he?
That's the one problem with this end of chapter 5 stuff. There's a lot of Gondor. Gondor's awesome. No, that is the worst character. Oh my god, that voice. It's gonna haunt me in my dreams. So, the other main issue is that you have these chain attacks, and they're very powerful. They're your strongest attacks. Everybody likes Gondor.
I'm looking at images of Gondor, and I like Gondor.
It's a little girl.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, I think I don't know how old she is. I assume if you heard her voice, you wouldn't like her.
And they're all anime characters. How the hell? Okay, whatever.
Every character sucks as wolf. But yes, the chain attacks are basically like limit breaks. If limit breaks were like 20 minutes long, I know it was a joke that they were long in Final Fantasy games. But like they try to mini gamify it, but it's kind of obvious what you're supposed to do, and they're very long. And sometimes you do 2 of them a boss fight, and I'm kind of over it. The presentation of them is very cool. They're very long and they drag. Maybe pick fast. The picking's not the problem, Nick. It's the very long animations afterwards. Look, I am liking the game a ton. Trust me, don't worry about it. But just like, again, when you're 65 hours into a game, you do begin to pick on the aspects of it you don't like. Jeff, I guess we should talk a little bit about the Bayonetta conclusion to this thing. We talked about it yesterday on your show, Game S Mornings. You kind of summed it up very nicely. But I don't know. I don't even know if we need to say anything else except that I think we've moved on. I think everybody else has pretty much moved on too. What my big worry now is that somebody's going to tweet something again. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, you could feel like it is on that. It's at that fork in the road where they either keep tweeting about it every couple of days for a very long time, or it gets buried now. We don't ever talk about it again. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it to go away. It accomplished nothing. Everyone got mad. Everyone feels like they have successfully caught a cheater, and that is somehow a win. And it just isn't. It just doesn't accomplish anything. And I just do not want to talk about it anymore.
How would you like to talk about a dog, but also Ghost?
I would love that. So Ghost Dog, Ghost Trick was there a Ghost Dog and Ghost Trick? Is it that dog or is it a different dog?
Well, it's not that dog, which is too bad because Missile from Ghost Trick is actually the best dog in any video game ever, easily. No, this is Graveyard. I think it's just pronounced like that.
I think it's pronounced Graveyard. But it's like spelled like Grievard. But I'm gonna say Graveyard.
I'm gonna say Graveyard, which is a ghost dog Pokemon. You know, Jeff, people are always like, "What do you think about this Pokemon?" And I'm either like, "It's ugly" or "It looks like a penis." This is actually just a good-looking dog. This is a good-looking Pokemon. I am all about this little dude.
Nick Turbo says, "Good dead boy."
Good dead boy. Yeah.
Also, Uncharted Wolf says, "Isn't Gondor the one with the dark skin?" This is the Overwatch tier list all over again.
Damn it. I think. Oh, never mind. I was about to say that I did say that I didn't like Senna either. But no, that's fine.
No.
Graveyard, who is also incredibly white, literally pale as a ghost. Yes. Very good. I want this guy on my team. I hope he has a cool evolution. I hope that he lives up to all my hopes and dreams because I am all aboard.
Are there any Pokemon that have that bottle of like bourbon around their neck or that barrel of bourbon around their neck? That's what I want. I need that Pokemon. That's one of my favorite character tropes in cartoons, and obviously they probably wouldn't do that much anymore because it's alcohol.
Yeah, that was like in all the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I love that.
That's like quicksand. Cartoons made me think that was going to be a much bigger part of my life as an adult than it actually was. Like the husky with the like walking around the snow with liquor in case you're freezing to death.
I'm like, listen, that just makes sense to me as an 8-year-old. As an 8-year-old, yeah, of course you would want it to drink. Yeah.
You're still going to die, but I guess you'll get a buzz first.
Right, it makes sense.
This dog looks very good. This game is coming out pretty soon, November 18th. I guess like Bayonetta is coming out now, and then it's just full steam ahead to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see what happens around Pokemon this year. Obviously, a lot of people are going to buy it. I want to be there, kind of seeing what people are saying about it. That's still where I'm at.
Yep. I'm pretty excited.
This is a good Pokemon. Jeff, a good Pokemon reveal too. The video was very good.
Yes, exactly. There's been a few of these, and none of them have really tickled my fancy. This one, very good. Jeff, how do you feel about answering some questions from our community?
I would love that.
Alrighty, from Benji Glasskey, he says, "Hey, Tallywhackers." Well, that one's pretty nice compared to some of the other ones he's given to us lately. Is part of the reason ARMS wasn't more popular because the name fucking sucks? Sonic wouldn't be nearly as successful if the game was called Run, or Star Fox was just Fly.
Okay.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I kind of like the name ARMS, actually.
Yeah, I do too, actually. I'm with you.
I kind of like it. I think it's just an early Switch game, and it was like a new thing, so there wasn't a ton of content. It was a little out there, and I bet they made a sequel, it would do better.
I agree with all that.
Hosp says, "Hey, yo, dogs, considering just how much of a clusterfuck the British government is at the moment, which Nintendo team, organization, or leader are the biggest fuck-ups? I can't really get beyond Team Rocket being bested by a 10-year-old. Yeah, I also went with Team Rocket right away. Maybe like one of the other teams that people don't even remember, like Team Magma. At least Team Rocket has a rep now.
Right. Yeah, Team Rocket's like the canonical answer to this question. I obviously Bowser's always failing, but what?
He still has a castle. He still has like a kingdom of some kind, right?
Well, so does the British government or the royal family or whatever. Yeah.
God Rosa says, "Hey dogs, I recently managed to get a 2DS with Pokemon Black, Black 2, Platinum, Y, Ranger Guardian Signs, and Dungeon Explorers of Time for free. Is there ever a time you feel you got an absolute steal like I just did?" Man, I don't know about that. I did have somebody who sent me a bunch of GameCube games recently, and he told me I didn't have to give him anything back. I sent him at least a little something, and it was a pretty good deal for me. I don't know, Jeff, how about you? Yeah,
I've told this story before, but working at FedEx, the nice old lady that gave me someone in her family's top-loading NES and a bunch of games for free. That was this is when people were still going pretty crazy for NES games. But the top-loading NES was something I never thought I was actually going to get because I was like, it's just too expensive for what I need it to do. And I got it. This is so much better. Games actually work on this thing. So yeah, it was very cool.
Mr. Bowler says, "Hey, Nintendogs, with Mario Party 1 and 2 coming to NSO soon, I've been nostalgically remembering playing Mario Party as a kid, and not once, but twice, giving myself a blister on my palm trying to beat Pedal Power and Tug of War on Minigame Island. What is the worst injury you gave yourself due to playing a game, either in one sitting or over a period of time? You know what's messed up is I do think I got like the palm blisters, but I was always much more upset about the damage being done to my Nintendo 64 controller.
Right? Yeah, your hand skin's gonna grow back.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Switch and the Nintendo 64 controller went back on sale today, and I got myself one.
So. You did.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I was actually just playing mine this week because I was playing Pilot Wings with it.
Nice.
It's great.
It's funny because like for NES, SNES, Genesis, I could just play it with the Switch stuff. It's fine. Nintendo 64, you kind of like do want that Nintendo 64 controller, especially when GoldenEye comes out. I want to play that like God intended. So I'm going to get the full experience. I'm going to tell people exactly how I really feel about that game after having to defend my position of not thinking it was that great. So we'll see. So I'm excited to get that one. But I don't know. Is there any other way you've ever hurt yourself playing a game, Jeff?
Yeah. I mean, these are pretty well documented, but this bad boy hurt me something fierce during the competition that I had with Mike and Dan Reichard in Astrobots Rescue or Astro Rescue Mission.
Yeah, we're all of our like injuries are just like joint based.
Right. So let me see if I can hold it. I think it's right here. This bottom is actually pretty sharp, and I was wrapping my hands around to do some stuff where I was going like this to climb a thing, and I was using the motion controls, and this finger right here would dig, and for people audio listeners, my middle finger on the bottom ridge of the PlayStation 5 DualSense, it would just kind of lodge in there, and I'm like, oh, this is keeping it steady. What it was actually doing is just ramming itself repeatedly into that tender tissue right next to my nail until it got so messed up that just touching it was so painful.
Oh my god!
And then
I thought that it was just like arthritis. I forgot you actually like physical
it was
skin damage.
It was like a real damage was done, and I had to stop playing games for 2 weeks. And then the dead cells, 80 hours in 1 week, and I just my hands cramped up, and that was like repetitive stress injury.
There you go. Next one is from Jump Matt. Thanks for looking into how long it takes to make game trailers. Do you know how many developers tend to work on them? Is it all hands on deck, Jeff, or do you have? I don't know if you have an actual percentage or number you can throw out.
It's a good question that I would only be speculating on. I do know that it does seem like the kind of thing where it requires all hands to at least be in sync, where everyone needs to know that their thing needs to be taken care of for the trailer, and it can't be broken that week that they're going to get footage. So I would imagine that every a large section of the studio needs to be focused on that stuff. And the way it's explained to me is it just takes up so much time. I can only assume it's taking up most of the studio's time at the same. It's a lot of time for a lot of developers, not just a lot of time for one or two people or anything like that.
Nick Turbo says, "Hey Jeff, are those condoms in your wallet, or are you just happy to see me Grubb?" And Mike, I'm not good at naming Twitch streams. I need your help. Nick Turbo Minotti. I told him repeatedly to stop doing it, Jeff. I had to unmod him today.
No, that's fair. I mean, listen. Nick Turbo knows when he crosses the line, and he knows what's going to happen when he does.
He does.
Well,
I tried to warn him. He already crossed it. He didn't believe me.
Well, now this is what's going to happen. So he's got to live in unmodded land for a long time.
That's right. He say he misses his sword. I feel he trying to get the simpy of the people. He doesn't get my simpy at all.
No, does not get my simpy.
That's my favorite Steiner quote. Xbox has achievements and PlayStation has trophies. If Nintendo's created a system like this in their next system, what would they call it? How about treats? How about we keep it Nintendog themed? You get treats.
Yeah, I love that.
Unlock a treat.
Yeah, and when it pops up and it does the the toast when you unlock it, it's just a bone, and then it goes and it gets bitten away. I love that.
There you go. Get yourself some treats.
Yeah.
Screaming Man says, "Hello, Mike. I feel horny for no one except for Daisy Minotti and Jeff. Go to town if Velma is your thing, Grubb."
I mean,
oh my God, this one. Which Nintendo character would most likely be Ernest Cline's crush? Oh my God! If you guys haven't heard Ernest Cline's poem about how nerd girls are cool to the exception of everything else, and I'm a hero for saying this. I'm a hero for saying I'm attracted to girls who like to read.
Yeah,
man.
Honestly, he barely even touched on their actual intelligence. He was just talking about how they looked intelligent.
Yeah,
that's all he cared about.
If they knew what planet Luke Skywalker was from, actually an important part of the poem. All right, who's just a nerd? Who's got some Velma energy?
I can't think about this poem. It makes me actually want to murder him, and I don't want to have that on. I don't want to have that on the record in case something weird happens to him.
That's true. That's true. Number one suspect here.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay. So who would be?
Who has glasses? Like,
right.
I mean, no, not. You would like maybe think Bayonetta, and then would be disgusted by her like femininity. I don't know.
There's probably some nerdy Fire Emblem characters.
There absolutely are. Kind of like maybe Bernadetta.
Yeah, probably
or something like that.
Yeah,
somebody with a book. Maybe Robin. Robin has a book all the time. Toadette. Yeah, we can go with that. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bernadetta, which actually upsets me because I kind of liked Bernadetta, but it's still true.
You didn't write a fucking poem about it. You're fine, Mike.
Just don't write a fucking poem about it. I need to actually see it because when it's just read, there's nothing about it that seems like it's a poem. I know poems can be anything, but usually there's some kind of like
Jess is right. Jess is it is a failed stand-up act.
It's a failed stand-up act.
He just took a stand-up act and put it out as a poem.
It's an essay, is what it is.
Yeah, it's a manifesto. It's a cry for help.
Bench JC says, "Hey, meaty men. Saturday night, or I guess Sunday early morning, a game of Mario Party happened. It was a battle of the fates, and Grubb came out victorious. Mike, how do you feel about this thrilling loss?" Not great, Coach. Not great. Wasn't my, I wasn't feeling great through most of it. I had a little comeback at the end there. I was feeling maybe I had a chance. Grubb was just too strong that time. He really got us there. We're gonna regroup, think about what we did wrong, and come out strong for the next outing.
I feel pretty good because I made I definitely play Mario Party where I'm only half paying attention, and that's the way you have to do it. You can't overthink it. But I did make a couple of strategic board maneuvers where I was the closest to the star, and I still moved it because I knew it was probably going to move a couple other times. And then no one got a star for a really long time after that, and I felt I'm like, okay, we're moving. We're like delaying, and then I got a pretty lucky later in the thing where I was able to get 2 stars really quickly, and that kind of locked everything up for me.
Now, you did not play the Mario Party 1 or whichever one it was during the Giant Bomb-a-thon. Have you gone back to play Nintendo 64 one?
Wait, what have I gone back to play a Nintendo 64 one? No, not for a very, very, very long time. I don't think I've played an N64 Mario Party since they first came out. The first one, probably when my friends would come over when I was literally in middle school, junior high in Michigan at that time.
I have to stop and apologize. I think somebody wrote something in our chat in Spanish, and it has that green check mark emoji that I normally associate with spamming bots, so I assumed that they were doing it. I think they were just saying, hello.
Sorry, Philippe.
Now, I only deleted the message. I did not ban him. So
okay.
It could have been worse, but Philippe... Apologies. Yay, Philippe. That's also the name of the horse from Beauty and the Beast. So there's some fun Disney trivia for you, Philippe.
Oh, distraction.
Distraction. There we go. Jeff, I was not listening to anything you said because of that going on and my horrible embarrassment and shame.
Well, just know that I answered whatever we were talking about perfectly. And is it Portuguese? It's probably Portuguese.
I don't know. Maybe it's Portuguese. Wherever they're from, it's great.
I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know where what it is, but I think it's French jackasses. Lol.
You know what? His name is Philippe. Guess where Beauty and the Beast takes place, Jeff.
And it is salutations yep. Hey, we are just disgusting Americans. Maybe some of the most disgusting Americans you'll ever meet.
Do you see what we're wearing?
Yeah.
You can't have high expectations for us.
Philippe, you should just take your subscription away and really go find someone that's better than us. Go find better podcasters than us.
I want Philippe to say he accepts my apology in chat so badly, Jeff. I think he's already God.
Yeah, I think he's just like, well, what did I do?
Or actually was a bot all along and I was correct. So,
yeah, we got him. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I'm a hero. Hey, Whitney says, in honor of Persona 5 Royale with cheese on Switch, what's a game you don't actually like but still own multiple versions of? A game I don't actually like. I don't know if I would do that with a game I don't actually like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's probably some game that's in multiple collections, maybe. I guess if I could count that.
Yeah. I think. Let's see. Looking under Sonic. I think I actually have 2 copies of Sonic Forces. I have that on Steam and Switch. Not only do I not like it, I haven't even played it. So, Sonic and the Lost World. Oh, I have 2 copies of that. That's gross. That game fucking sucks. So, yeah, that's no good. We'll go with that then.
Yep.
Anything else, Jeff? You ready to move on?
Anything.
Sorry, I just like the question. We'll read the super chat later, but it made me laugh. Thank you. It's X-Core. I'm excited to read it later. Dr. Sus says, "Hey dogs, what is your biggest gaming misconception from when you were kids? For the longest time, I thought the Nintendo 64 was superior to PlayStation 1 because cartridge was better than disc.
Hell yeah.
I hated the loading times and the need for a memory card. Much later that I learned that PlayStation 1 CD enabled games 10 times larger for cheaper, which allowed for games that were grander in scope, like Final Fantasy VII. This is very specific, but I remember getting an EGM or some magazine that had Kirby's Avalanche and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and I was kind of a Sega fanboy back then, so I became very mad and very indignant that Nintendo copied Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine and just left Kirby on it. In my mind, like, how dare they so nakedly do this? How can they get away with this?
Mine is probably, and this is due to the media. The idea that Rare was a second party for Nintendo, which I'm like, what is that? Like, that means that they're not really Nintendo. They're just sort of friends with Nintendo. But like, no, Nintendo owned Rare, or at least a huge part of it. And it was all the games they published were first party games and stuff like that. And now people use second party not in any way related to the way we used it for Rare, it's like some other term, and it's like that term has just changed so much over time, and it's completely meaningless. But yeah, for the longest time, I'm like, Rare is a second party. It never was.
I mean, there's no difference between what Rare was to Nintendo than, say, what Naughty Dog is to Sony now, right?
Yes, exactly. And
nobody would say Last of Us Part 1 is a second-party game. That would be crazy.
That would be nuts, absolutely.
Chronobound says, "Oh, hi, doggies." I need to watch the room again. Following up from my last of the Nintendogs question, for my last one, the Portland Retro Gaming Expo was a blast. That's right. We asked them for more info about this.
Right.
Despite having to travel across the country, the blockbuster tournament consisted of both Saturn Bomberman and Downfall on the Jaguar. What's Downfall on the Jaguar? I'm very familiar with Saturn Bomberman. I need to look up Downfall. Day 2 was streamed, and he does this in italics, somewhere. That sounds ominous. The classic Tetris World Championship was also at the expo, which was wild. All the live panels I attended were a good time. Got a crazy amount of pinball / machine time in.
Okay, never mind. Keep going. Sorry.
Yes, highly recommend going if you can make the trek. Anyway, got a favorite spaceship. All right, Jeff. What are you asking me?
Nothing. I'm trying to look at this Downfall just because I'm interested myself.
On the Jaguar.
Yeah, on the Jaguar. Here it is.
Yeah, that looks neat.
All right, yeah, it looks pretty cool. Man, Jaguar was one I always was interested in and never really understood what it actually could do, and it turned out not much. It just wasn't. No. It wasn't much of anything at all.
It wasn't. It's not one you're actually missing out too much on. It's marketed.
It wasn't like a PS1 or N64 competitor really ever.
No, they lied and said it was a 64-bit console, but that was actually a lie. Just straight up 16-bit. Jeff, what's your favorite spaceship?
The Outrider.
That's a good question.
Or Outrider. Whichever one Dash Rendar flies in.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
I like the Enterprise D from Star Trek Next Generation a lot. That's a very cozy spaceship. I like that it's basically like a luxury cruiser. A lot of carpet and stuff. It looks cozy. So much so that when I don't like the episode of Star Trek Next Generation where the threat is almost too big for the people on there. Too many people, nobody thinks of Star Trek The Next Generation as a violent show. I think way too many people die in Star Trek The Next Generation, especially just crew members. I think it's statistically over the course of the series, it would have to be like a 20th of the crew. Maybe not. It's a lot of people for how many people are on that ship, to the point where nobody would actually be okay doing this, or let alone bringing their families on it.
Well, maybe if you compare it to colonization, like the early colonial period, where people would come to the United States on ships, and it would be military ships taking people to the New World. And there would be regular people on there that are actually going to stay there and colonize it and stuff. I think that was always kind of the thing that they were going for. It's like a wagon a wagon trail to the west was, but it's like for space. That was always the idea of Star Trek. So
that was the vibe in the original series. I think by Next Generation,
they kind of you're right. You know what? You're right. It's weird. It's just like it's weird that Andor killed a man in the first scene, and
it is.
And Rogue One.
Sometimes it's great. There's like some poor woman who like gets somehow phased into the floor. I'm like, that's a poor boy died. There's like some other lady who like lungs just stopped working because some aliens messing with them. Doesn't mess with like Deanna Troi or Will Riker, just this dude, and we have to watch them die. Like, too many people die, even in Next Generation. So you can imagine how I think about some of the newer stuff sometimes. Jimmy Nintendo says, "Woof woof! It's great to finally have Persona 5 on Switch. What are the odds that Persona 6 releases on multiple platforms at launch?" Still somehow pretty bad, I think, Jeff.
Yeah, still way worse than they should be. I mean, they're probably just going to put it on PlayStation at first because that's what they've always done, and for no other good reason.
Yeah, like you would hope at least like PlayStation and PC at this point, but I mean they don't.
You would hope that like at least they're going to get like a good marketing deal. At least get some money out of it. Don't do it just because you're stupid. Please,
right,
Sega and Atlas.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I mean, God, by the time Persona 6 comes out, there should be like a Switch Pro or something, and I don't know how ambitious. I'm sure Persona 6 is going to be a good-looking game, but I bet it's
Persona 6 could be a PS4 game still. Like who knows?
It could be. All right, next one here is from Major Yorha. Yorha? Why did it sound like I said that wrong? Yeah, Major Yorha from Nier Automata, and that rhymed. 2 months ago, I couldn't find enough people to fill Luigi's Mansion 3 lobby, and I should have known better. These past couple of days, it's still been unable to get a full lobby in Luigi's Mansion 3. Is Splatoon 3 responsible for this? I sure think it is. And also, my first time to Arby's was very good and not offensive. Good to hear. I mean, that's a pretty old game to expect people to still care about the online for Luigi's Mansion 3, which was always very much a sideshow for that game, huh?
Right, those are like, that's like a snowballing problem, right? Like if people show up a couple times and can't find anybody, then they just stop even trying, and then there's nobody even trying anymore when you try. It's just... Yeah, online games are weird. Online modes in primarily single-player games should just be a thing of the past, in my opinion. If you are going to make a multiplayer take on your game, release it as a free-to-play thing on the side.
Lossian says, "Hey, Mike, I like Multiverses more than Smash Brothers." That's just a fucking lie. Minotti and Jeff, heinous, not highness.
Oh, yeah, you're highness. That's
you're
right.
Not royalty. No, heinous animal grub. First off, thanks for great content. It helps when the week is shit like last week. You're welcome. Our content is great, and I'm sad you had a bad week. Do you guys know anything about Little Devil Inside's status and release date? It is my last game for Fantasy Critic. Would it be possible for you to read Jordan Midler's articles with a Scottish accent when you reference them? I think the accent adds some gravitas. I've been hearing a lot of Scottish accents in Xenoblade, so you think I'd pick up on it eventually, but no. Little Devil Inside. Jeff, know anything about that?
No, I honestly don't. I don't know anything. I know people have been looking forward to it. And that's all I know.
Jane says, "Sup, doggos. Hope your Tuesday's been going well. Disney's Illusion Island is one of my most anticipated games of 2023. What's another Disney IP you'd want to see as a game on Switch or any other platforms? I'd love a Moana game, personally. Hey, if you're interested in Disney's Illusion Island, you should check out the new 90s Disney podcast. AJ Minotti actually interviewed the game's, I think, the director, something like that, about it. They talked about the game, their kind of retro Disney influences on it, and all sorts of fun stuff. So look at that. Crossover content.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, there's so many things I'd like to... Moana is actually pretty good because, just because of the whole... It could basically be Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
Right?
Just make Wind Waker, yeah.
Just make Wind Waker. So that would make a good amount of sense. I don't know. Could you do something with... I don't even... Like, Wreck-It Ralph's already about video games, so maybe trying to make a game out of that's a little too cute. I almost want the game to be like those Namco museum collections, but it's like with all these fake Wreck-It Ralph style games instead.
Make a GTA style open world crime game set in the
San Francisco.
That would work, but in the Mole Town or whatever, Westleton in
Zootopia.
In Zootopia, yeah.
That would be pretty good, actually. Yeah, I would like that. Actually, just like a GTA style game in Zootopia in general
Sure.
would actually be kind of rad.
In general, that's basically what I meant, but I'm like the idea of just setting it in that tiny little place with those tiny creatures.
That might be the right answer. It's me, Natalie Plorpman. Have we heard from Natalie Plorpman in a while?
I think Natalie Portman might have changed their name a bunch of times. So
yeah, I remember the first time I saw Natalie Portman. I think I lost it. I think I just giggled forever. A while back, I asked you to rank some Nintendo number 2s. Now I'd like to ask the favorite Gamble of number 3s. Please rank the following. All right, Jeff.
Yes,
get ready here.
I'm looking at them.
Metroid Prime 3, Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land, Donkey Kong Country 3, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Castlevania 3, Ruby and Sapphire, A Link to the Past, Pikmin 3, Deluxe. P.S. Mikey, what did you use that Mondo pricey butter with? Oh, nothing yet. Yeah, that's one of the things I tell myself I deserve since I don't have kids or anything. I can buy the nice Irish butter. So I like to do that. And then I just use it whenever I need butter. So it's very good. It's very tasty. Okay, let's just kind of work. Which one here is the best? And I think that's got to be Link to the Past, right?
I think it's got to be Link to the Past. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Link to the Past is the best one here. And then I actually probably like Castlevania 3 next best. I don't know if you are with me on that.
I probably go. Castlevania 3 for me probably goes after Donkey Kong Country 3, Wario Land, and Pikmin 3 Deluxe. And I'm thinking maybe in that order. Actually, my heart says so. We got Link to the Past, then Pikmin 3 Deluxe, then Wario Land, then Donkey Kong Country 3, and then Castlevania 3. And then the rest are kind of.
Are you aware, Jeff, that I'm actually a Donkey Kong Country 3 defender myself, but most people don't think it's as good as the other two.
Yeah, and I've been playing it. I played a bunch in the last month, and I really enjoyed it.
It's actually very good. I still like Castlevania 3 more than it, but I would actually, I mean, it's definitely better than Super Circuit. That's like one of the worst Mario Karts, really. I haven't played Pikmin 3 yet. Metroid Prime 3, it's been so long, like to play it again.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I haven't played Metroid Prime 3 since it first came out, and I never played that much of it. I intend to. Whenever Metroid Prime comes out, I'm going to play it again, and then I'm going to play a little bit of 2. I don't know if I'm going to beat 2, but then I'm going to play Metroid Prime 3 on my Steam Deck, and that is my plan. And maybe that gets reworked. I know a lot of people really like 3, but I'm not as familiar with it as I am with Metroid Prime 1.
Seeing some backlash of 3 in the chat, which is interesting because you don't normally see too much of that. I've kind of turned slightly against it. It's actually maybe a little too hard, even for Castlevania. I find Castlevania 1 a bit more enjoyable these days. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire's kind of middle of the road. He did not put Mega Man 3 here, which would be the easy tops if it was. So, most important thing is Link to the Past is number 1.
Yep.
Jedi Moss says we're almost to TGA, and the Game of the Year conversations are about to start.
Correct.
By TGA means Game Awards. Aside from the obvious games of Elden Ring and Gears of War Ragnarok, which games so far should be in the Game of the Year conversation? Are Xenoblade and Bayonetta in the conversation, at least for a TGA nomination? I've been thinking about this, Jeff. It's such a weird year for me, just because like the AAA kind of games, like a God of War Ragnarok or an Elden Ring, a lot of those have been misses or just haven't been that many of them. Like outside those two, and I guess it kind of depends on your definition of AAA. Like I guess Xenoblade and Bayonetta are released by Nintendo and they're big deal games, but you know what I mean when I'm talking about like Elden Ring and Gears of War or Horizon. There have been a lot of those, and like the ones like Saints Row and Gotham Knights have kind of really fizzled pretty hard. So it kind of leaves some interesting room for, I think, Bayonetta and Xenoblade to maybe get in there. And
then Vampire Survivors, Neon White, Kirby, even.
Kirby, yeah. I wonder if people are going to forget about Kirby. Unfortunately,
yeah, a lot of people will.
I think, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to forget about Neon White, Jeff.
Yep.
It had a zeitgeist, and I think we latched onto it more than some. I latched onto it pretty hard. I think it's going to be kind of hard to convince a lot of people. I think
we scared a lot of people off it, actually. So
I think I scared you off it.
Well, yeah, definitely. But I also personally scared many other people off it. I scared as many, if not more.
You're probably right, because you look at what we're doing, and we're like, yeah, we're so good. We're God gamers, and it's just intimidating. I get it.
Disgusting psychos. People are like, we cannot hype you. Is this how you have to play the game? And the answer is no, but it seems that way looking at us. So
yeah. I hope Live Alive gets a little, or Live Alive gets a little love also. But there's going to be a lot of there's like so many JRPGs that are very good, and they might be canceling each other out. Maybe. Yep. I hope that doesn't happen. Velocity Prime says, good day to the dogs. This weekend I went to the movies to catch the latest flick burning up the charts, the 3-hour character drama Tar, starring Kate Blanchett. It's an excellent, serious, and thoughtful film from talented craftsmen that also critically includes Monster Hunter to make a hugely important thematic point. What the hell?
Cool.
So my question, what is your favorite use of a video game in film/TV that isn't game related, i.e. the story characters are not primarily focused on games as the conceit? Didn't they like famously play that early PlayStation 3 action game on an episode of Heroes? What the hell was it called? Not Hellblade. It was like God of War, and it had a bunch of gyro shit because it was so early in that generation. So there's a lot of 6-axis bullshit. Heavenly Sword. Thank you,
yes,
Eno. Heavenly
is,
Sword. Yeah, I think didn't they play Heavenly Sword in an episode of Heroes, and everybody lost their mind for some reason?
That sounds right. Yeah. Can I read you a headline here? Well, it's a search result from vulture.com. Tar ending explained, what's a monster hunter?
It's a part of the ending? That's incredible.
Yes. Hang on, let me see.
Oh my God, that's right. They played Shadow of the Colossus in the Adam Sandler movie. It's so weird whenever they do that.
I mean, they play Rage with a light gun in Breaking Bad, yeah.
That's right. Shia Miro here says Jesse Pinkman played Sonic 06. Did that actually happen? I don't remember that.
Did he play Sonic 06? I remember him playing Rage. I don't remember that. Okay,
that'd be incredible.
Let me just read. Okay. Then we get her to, this is just from that article. Then we get to her big return to the podium. She prepares the orchestra and then the screens descend behind her. A CGI flag is projected onto them. We hear serious video game style narration. And as the orchestra plays, we see the crowd is full of people cosplaying as characters from the video game series Monster Hunter. All right. We have to watch this.
Wow. What the? And this is like an actual movie. This is like.
Yes.
Like
this looks like a serious
movie.
thing. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay then. Pablo Costa says, good evening, Perros. It seems the Pokemon Company has revealed Mike's replacement for the show, Meet Graveyard. Oh, we've talked about Graveyard. He is a very good boy. Gerbear says, good evening, dogs. Thanks to Chris Pratt, Mario will soon complete his evolution from standard, near-silent game protagonist to standard Brooklyn native who just won't shut up ever. In this brave new world of Mario flapping his gums, do you think that will feed back to the games? Are the days of Mario squeaking out a mere "oh no" when facing impending doom over? Is Luigi the new Atreus, Solly / Lance Riddick? Hey, Mario, check out this mushroom. No, I think, look, we've had Mario talk before and other things. There was a cartoon, there was a live action movie. It never changed how he is in the games. I don't think that's going to be any different. One Up versus CPU says, what do you think about Marion and the new River City Girls 2 trailer? For those who don't know, that's the girl that gets punched in the gut in the intro of Double Dragon. I think that she's perfect. No notes. Just wonderful.
Oh, she has abs.
Oh, she has abs, not ads. She has abs.
She does have abs, yes.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very much excited about this. I'm glad that it's no longer canon. Well, I think only in the arcade version of Double Dragon 2 is it canon that she's fucking murdered in the beginning of the game. Look at that hair. She has like fucking Super Saiyan level 3 hair, and that's just incredible. This is good stuff. This game's gonna be so good. I hope it's still coming out this year. This trailer just says coming soon now. It doesn't even have 2022 anymore. So I don't know if they're really teasing us about a shadow drop later this year or what's happening. I want to play this game so bad. I still actually really want to play through the first one with you at some point, Jeff.
I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe we can make content out of it, either for us or some other site you might know.
I like it.
Octo says, yo, Jeff Grubb, trapped inside an infinite podcast with Mike Minotti. What do you think would be the most asinine Nintendo-like reason for not putting GameCube games on Switch? My tinfoil ultra dumb reason is that those games are too modern and people might have them confused with new games, but still think they're not as good or some shit. P.S. What the fuck was up with Ambassador Game Boy Advance games on 3DS? Why have they never sold those? Man, I was actually thinking about this just today. How it really is just crazy that on the Wii, it's like, well, what systems are retro? Okay, everything up to 64. And now we're so far from that, and that is still like the end, right?
Yeah, Nintendo's weird about it. I think they feel like they have not squeezed enough value out of those games to begin like treating them like NES games, and it's stupid and weird. Like, no, we're only going to do it if we give them full remakes or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's because you can remake, or maybe there is a point where you actually can get away with remastering a GameCube game and still sell it for $60, like they did with Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. That you could not do with a Nintendo 64 game. You couldn't just remaster a Nintendo 64 game. really, and get away with charging full price for that. So it's definitely a weird shame. Yeah, the Ambassador Game Boy Advance games, that's what they gave away to people who bought a 3DS at the original price. And it did work. They did never sell those. They said back then, we're never selling these. These are just for these people, and they were honest about that, I guess.
Yoshi's Island was in there, and I was always jealous.
Yeah, Yoshi's Island in there. Although that version is not as good as the SNES version, and it kind of adds the Yoshi's story sound effects, which kind of don't really fit with Yoshi's Island to me.
Fuck that.
Yeah, well, but it was also very good because we had the good Fire Emblem game. We had a bunch of good stuff there. That was a good thing. The Entire Wolf says, "Hey, Mike always answers my questions with, this doesn't answer your question, but Minotti and Jeff didn't talk about Andor last week, hashtag fake fan Grubb."
Oh, I talked about it a lot, just not with you.
The Silent Hill showcase last week revealed to us 3 big things. A remake, a movie, and a new game with a big writer. Below lists other Konami franchises and ask you how you would do same 3 things with them. 1, which game in the franchise would you remake? 2, how would you make the movie adaptation? And what big writer / game director would you attach to it? Okay, so which Metal Gear I would just want, at this point I would want, well, I mean, they actually remade Metal Gear, like for the NES. I think that would be pretty cool.
That'd
like a
neat.
modern.
I like that.
They wouldn't do that. So I'm going to hope for a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1, if I'm being realistic.
For me, it's Metal Gear Solid 4 for a remake.
For a remake, that'd be interesting.
Put it on everything, yeah. Remake it in the Unreal Engine, put it on everything.
Yeah. If I was to make a movie adaptation, I would just make a movie of Metal Gear Solid 1 and be relatively straightforward with it.
Yes.
Try to just capture as much of the juice from that game as possible.
Right,
and
you hit the big beats, you make sure you have a scene that looks a lot like that EGM cover, yeah.
And I would just have Hideo Kojima direct it and just see what happens. Let's just go nuts with it. Castlevania. What would you remake for Castlevania? Because I don't know if that's necessarily what I think. Like, we've had a couple remakes. Maybe remake 2, actually, Castlevania 2, as a proper Metroidvania without some of the jank.
Yeah, and kind of give it that really extra, that extra over animated stuff that you get from some .emu games. I think that could be cool for a Castlevania game from that generation.
How would you bake the movie adaptation? Well, so the show is all Castlevania 3E, right? So I didn't really follow it, so I don't know. But I think you should just do Symphony of the Night as a movie, right? Like that makes sense. I mean,
that one's got the most enticing sort of concept of Alucard, and that's who you're playing as, and Dracula backwards and all that shit. And it's got some it's got some iconic lines that you could put in and make the movie kind of fun and cheesy. I would like that. And then
you just.
I was gonna say a big game from a new game from a big writer. The answer for all these for me for this question is have Kojima write one of their games.
I was gonna say just get the entire creative team from Morbius for this one, but theirs is good too. There's Contra. They had a remake of Contra 1 at Galloping Ghost, that arcade we were at in Chicago, and it fucking sucked. It was terrible. I can't remember what it was called. It was awful. It was like they made Contra 1 look like a bad mobile game from 10 years ago.
And then put it in the arcade and said, "Fuck you, play this." And I was like, "Well, okay, I guess I will, but fuck you too."
Yeah. I don't know what Contra game I would want remade. Most of them are good because they work so well on the systems they're on.
Yeah.
Contra Hardcore is one of my favorite Genesis games because it's such a good Genesis game. Alien Wars is such a good Super Nintendo game. I don't want to flake out here. Let's remake Super C, because why the fuck not? How about that? How would you make the movie adaptation? It should just be like a Schwarzenegger 80s action movie. It should just be Commando. It should be Commando meets Rambo.
Yes,
that's it.
I like that. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, and to get Michael Bay to direct it.
Sure.
Bomberman. I would actually just like it to just no remake Bomberman 64. That game rules. Remake that.
64 is good. Or I guess what they have been remaking Saturn Bomberman sort of over and over. That was going to be my answer, but that's pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bomberman 64. That is a fun game that probably would work better today than it has at any point up until now.
And the movie adaptation should just be Bomberman trying to get past the TSA check at the airport.
Yeah, Bomberman Act Zero, gritty movie. That's what I want.
Writer, director, that should be James Gunn.
Hell yeah.
There you go. We did it.
Congratulations.
B Famer says, "Howdy, Jeff. Cheats at Fall Guys, Rift Tracks, and Mario Party Grubb. And Mike, Praying to his Sonic Shrine that Frontiers is good, Minotti. Jeff, can you confirm that Sting will have a performance at the Game Awards like last year? If he isn't, what the hell is even the point of watching the awards? Man, every time I say people write Sting like that, Jeff, I am not thinking of the singer.
Well, yeah, but that's right in this case. The singer won't have a performance, but NWO Wolfpack Sting will have a performance at this year's The Game Awards. Congratulations,
Good.
everybody.
I'm relieved. Fish and Love says, hello, Jeff, Snap Enthusiast Grubb, and Mike. The only thing I snap is your mama, Minotti. So I need to make my question Nintendo related. Would you play Marvel Snap if it was on Switch? And how good is Marvel Snap anyway? Please talk about Marvel Snap. I'm obsessed. Love you. I was just playing it. I was streaming it right before this. It's very good. Having a lot of fun. I think they need to wait till they make. So like right now, when you play it on PC, you are just like playing an emulator of the mobile client. Like it's still like that tall screen thing. You can get away with that on PC a bit. Be hard to get away with that on Switch. So once they have like an actual desktop UI, then I think we can probably maybe expect a Switch port at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. Very fun, Jeff. Somebody who played a lot of Hearthstone, I really like the ways it's not Hearthstone.
Yeah,
like
it feels very much like it was made by the people who made Hearthstone and didn't want to make that game again.
Yeah, they realized all the inherent problems in Hearthstone and thought of now maybe new problems will present themselves here.
Sure, maybe they will.
Years.
But boy,
now,
did they have answers for all the other problems, and not just for Hearthstone, but for free-to-play games and card collection games. Just an incredibly designed game. I really am just kind of buzzing from it because it's like, oh, this is where the Blizzard people went. Blizzard isn't Blizzard anymore because they're over here doing their own thing, and that's probably true for all these new studios that have spun off of Blizzard.
Yeah. Fluffy Cloud Gamer says, hello, Jeff, or Gref Jubb and Mike Minotti. Damn it. Yeah, 2 M's, take it. What is the Nintendo Game of the Year for this year? Kirby the Forgotten Land may be one of my favorite games of all time, but there was a lot of solid entries for many franchises this year. Yeah, it's rough. Like, it's going to be but probably between Kirby, Live Alive, and Xenoblade for me. And it's going to have to, it's going to be a game time decision, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to do games this year. Switch, go to the fandom website Metacritic here.
I didn't realize they owned Metacritic.
Yeah, they're one of my sister companies now.
Yeah.
So now I pull the strings. The top two games.
Now it's really unethical that you're in our fantasy critic league.
Portal Companion Collection and Persona 5 Royal are the top 2 games. The game of the year for Switch, if you ask most Switch fans, is probably going to easily be Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or maybe Bayonetta 3, right?
Yeah, Bayonetta 3 is going to come up and I have to play it myself. We'll see. There's a lot of games that have had kind of similar reception, and maybe it's going to depend on like which genre you just like more, really.
Right.
Kirby's definitely the most Nintendo game of them, which I think might help it. Oh, Splatoon 3 too. Shit, God.
Splatoon 3 is a good one. It's probably going to be, for me, it's going to be Splatoon 3, Kirby, maybe once I play it, Sparks of Hope.
I like Rabbids. I don't think I'm going to like it as much as those.
Yep, fair enough.
And there's Pokemon still. And then Ezipsa says, what if it's Miyamoto holding back releasing Mario RPG on Switch Online? We all know he hates people doing anything interesting with his characters without his express approval. Do we need to wait for him to retire before someone at Nintendo decides to release it? I guess the real question is, how in the world were they able to release it on the SNES Mini? I mean, could he possibly even be that interested in what games are going onto SNES?
Right, he's like doing the movie and working on the theme park and stuff. Yeah. I don't think it's that. I think he did have a lot of explicit approval over what happened with that game at that time. Like, Nintendo was very much involved in producing that game. I know
he was the one who said, "Don't give Mario a sword," and like that was actually good.
Yeah,
listen.
Yeah, he said, "Make a fun RPG," and the Squaresoft was like, "Fine."
Shut up, Jeff.
We have to. We've never done it before, but if you say so.
It's never been done before. God damn it. Next one's from Silent Mill F. Hello, Jeff, Naive Angel Mode Grubb, and Mike, Infinite Climax Mode Naughty. You have been cursed. Until Halloween is over, you will perceive every other adult as having the appearance, voice, and smell of a video game monster chosen by your co-hosts. Who do you choose to curse each other with? I mean, if I was really mean, I would just pick the giant shit monster from Conker's Bad Fur Day. I don't hate Jeff that much. I'll just say Birdo.
Oh man, that would rule. That'd be fun. I would jump over so many. I would jump on so many eggs.
That's what you think. They would all hit you. You would miss time each and every single jump. You'd hurt yourself very badly.
I'd just get racked in the nuts a bunch of times.
Every single one hits you in the nuts. It'd be like that scene from Galaxy Quest. Do you have to hit every single one of them?
The pocket monsters count, so I'll just say Snorlax. You've got a bunch of people sleeping all around you, and they're big, and you can't move.
Sounds cozy.
Yeah, but it's cozy.
Good. I guess I'll have to stay inside.
They smell really bad. They do smell really bad.
There's a fucking Snorlax out there. That's outside. That smell won't get inside. I'll be all right. That is it for the questions, Jeff.
Awesome. Cool. You know what? Let's take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back.
You need a break. It's hot in here.
Yeah.
Lower the air, get another drink. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. How's everybody doing? We're all handling this Tuesday gracefully.
Ready for all these box arts.
Yes, I am ready. Let me actually get that loaded up right now. Podcast producers, threads, favorite,
and for the box art.
What?
How are you gonna pull up the box art on the stream?
I'm just gonna do this. See it? See it. It'll just be right there in the middle. And then we'll just scroll through it.
That works.
Yep. All right, let's go studio mode, and then if I make it go away, let's add a show transition. Let's do a Luma wipe. We'll do the watercolor. And then the hide transition. Do a Luma wipe, and we'll do a iris. So now if we show it, or hide, yeah, there we go. Whoa. Okay.
The hell is going on here?
Cool.
The hell's going on here?
Not much. I'm doing pretty good.
Just Thanos snapping box arts out.
Yeah.
I just saw that clip of John snapping an earthquake.
Yeah, did you see
into
that?
Existence. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that looked like a hell of an earthquake too. I have not seen it shake that much on a video in quite some time. So like a 5.1 or something. It's pretty wild. If people don't know, we were doing the Bombcast today, and Jan and Michael Hyam are both in San Francisco, both in SF, and Hyam's camera started shaking. I was like, "What's going on?" And he like stops, he's like, "Jan, do you feel that?" And then Jan like stops immediately. I'm like, "Oh, they're having an earthquake." So it was pretty cool. Scary though, very scary.
Yeah. We don't get earthquakes, but we can feel the ones that happen in Chile from time to time.
Okay, we're gonna read this when we get back. Holy shit, this ruled. Okay, someone explain to me how Monster Hunter is relevant to the movie.
What? To that horror movie that came out like?
Is it a horror film?
I thought it was a horror film.
I mean, it looks very dramatic and could be scary, but I don't know if it necessarily is scary.
Wait, what? Oh my god!
I'll explain it. Yeah. I'll explain it when we get back.
I thought it was a horror movie. I watched trailers for movies that I'm never gonna watch. When I watched that trailer, I thought it was like a horror movie.
Man, this rules.
Monster Hunter movie is an isekai. It is an isekai. Yeah, they drive into a tornado, some storm, and then they end up on Monster Hunter World.
Oh, I saw that Monster Hunter movie. It was awful.
I saw that movie.
Yeah, it's a kid in King Arthur's court kind of movie.
Thank you, Jeff, for saying that.
I'm kind of like, I don't get isekai. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, you're with me. Good. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Like people always say like these movies only came out in the last 10 years or something. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
No,
or Fish Out of Water, which is also where I don't know. I guess Fish Out of Water is a bit more vague.
The first ever the one with the Wizard of the Oz, whatever. That's an isekai.
That is actually that is true.
Did you just imply that the word isekai only existed in the past 10?
No,
years?
That's not what he's saying.
Never existed in Japanese before that.
Okay, fine, but everybody here globbing onto it. I don't know.
No, everyone describing this genre of storytelling as isekai as if it's only an it's a common trope throughout the history of telling stories.
Hey,
and I'm talking about from the beginning of oral storytelling tradition.
Yeah. People has been snatched from this world to another world since people could like tell stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's just that we're all fucking weebs now. So you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's
true,
exactly.
like,
that is my only point. And
that's why we're so mad.
Yeah.
That's why we're furious. All right, let's get going. I'm
ready.
ready.
Bring us back, Mike, and then I have an explanation for what's happening with Monster Hunter in that movie.
Oh shit. Okay.
And we are back. Jeff, I understand you have a very important update for us.
Yeah, so I want to shout out the Piss Wizard on Twitter for explaining when I asked what the hell's going on.
Thank you, Piss Wizard.
Thank you so much, Piss Wizard. They explained...
I hope that's the sound, but thank you so much, Piss Wizard.
The idea is she was a prominent conductor who fell from grace, and by the end of the movie, the only work she can get is conducting a Monster Hunter concert for cosplayers. It's supposed to be the ultimate embarrassment for a serious musician.
Oh, that's incredible. Does she at the end of the movie, oh, this is fine, actually?
I have no idea. I bet she's pretty embarrassed, actually. I bet that's
what the
actually
difference is between that Monster Hunter concert and the stuff she used to do? People probably come to the Monster
exactly.
Hunter
That's what I was
concert.
thinking. I'm like, man, I watched Howard Shore conduct the Lord of the Rings stuff in person.
Yeah,
and
I saw that
those
too.
people were into it.
Yeah, I have friends who did some of the Final Fantasy concerts. They're like, oh, it's great. There's so many people and they're so excited. They actually applaud and cheer.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understood, all the musicians actually love that stuff. So
yes.
That's very funny.
Yes, very funny.
Okay. All right, Jeff. Our topic this week is our favorite NES box art. Is there anything that specifically pops in mind for you when you think about your favorite NES box art?
I mean, it's kind of... Yes, something pops into mind. Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, it's maybe the most iconic box art of all time. I feel like it's
that yellow background was an interesting choice, and it works.
Yes, the yellow background, Mario not as his sprite, but just as a fully drawn cartoon. I mean, they did this for Super Mario Brothers 2 as well. They did that, but it's just it's
better on 3.
It's better on 3, and it's much more just they're going for the iconographic look and not the trying to represent actually what the game is like look. And now a Super Mario Brothers 3 logo is found on, products and merchandise to this day because it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
I actually don't think box art ever got better than that.
Did you get that John Cena shirt when he was kind of aping that thing? Oh,
I didn't, but I like that shirt. It was a good call. That's a good move. I mean, it's the kind of thing where I even, my wife like thinks about that box art, and she looks, my wife, yeah, of course. It sort of reached out into the wider culture in a way, and I think it's perfect.
Got a visual aid for mine, Jeff. Here you go. This right here is
Bubble
Bobble. Bubble Bobble. I don't. It's you look at it, it's what's special? It's just good. It's very simple. Look at these two assholes. I learned everything I need to know about this game by looking at this. I'm gonna play some cute dinosaurs, and I'm gonna put some fucking weird ass monsters and bubbles. I'm gonna have a great time. I love Bubble Bobble. That is such a good, as far as the arcade style games on NES go, I think that's the best one. Give me Bubble Bobble over Burger Time. Oh, that's actually pretty good in NES. But even the Donkey Kong on there, Popeye, any of that shit. Bubble Bobble rules. And it's the same old thing. You have that just striking red background. I have a couple other favorites, and I think our community actually even
I've got
picked
some other ones too, yeah. But let's go see what the community has, and I'll come back to mine if they don't get mentioned.
Yes,
I am prepared. If you are, Mike,
I am prepared because we're going to show you guys,
and we will also describe them for our audio listeners, and maybe I'll figure out some way to include these in the description so everyone can see them if you're on your phone.
Yeah. Well, Benji Glaskey says Mega Man shooting a robot's dick. And this, my friend, is the cover art for my favorite video game of all time, Mega Man 3. The Mega Man 1 cover art is famously awful. So awful, I don't know how it happened. Mega Man 2 is also not very good. So this one is still kind of weird. I don't know why Mega Man's chest is like that and why his face looks bad. I'm a big fan of Sparkman looking like a droid from Star Wars.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff happening.
Great.
There's a lot of clashing style happening between Mega Man's look and the robots look, and it still has that 70s sci-fi novel cover style to it, while also being very video gamey. And then it looks like children's toys as well, with that Castle Grayskull in the background, which of course Dr. Wily's castle.
Wily's castle looks amazing. Yeah. You have weird green top man Rush just in the back. Rush looking very on model from here. The Mega Man 3 logo looks great. I love the 3 and that kind of, I don't know, spiral thing. I like that there's like a random like chasm, but it's like an 8-bit chasm between Mega Man and Spark. This thing connecting Sparkman's like knee with his the back of his foot is like, God, that looks cool. Yeah. Like it's obviously a little janky, but in an endearing way, not like Mega Man 1 that's just gross janky. I also like the border. I find the border attractive for some reason.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good looking.
Next from Velocity Prime 1. In classic 80s fashion, I love a good painted cover for a game with a deranged premise that only kind of looks like what actually ends up on your TV. So let's say Base Wars. Oh, God. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That looks cool as hell. That's Ultra Games, too, a.k.a. Other Konami.
Yep, Other Konami. I love this game. I love this cover, for sure. And I love like the look of the game, separate from what this looks like. He's right that this is just like kind of barely captures what you're looking at, but it's still great. Also feels like the cover of a sci-fi novel.
Lenny, Cool Dick Denver, says Fester's Quest. It looks so bad. I bought it for my friend for his birthday. His only game console is a PlayStation 4. People may not know this, like if you weren't there. Fester's Quest was for some reason like a well-selling game. We all had Fester's Quest.
Yes, we did.
I don't know why. I don't know if it was like always on sale or something. Everybody I knew had this game, and I had this game. And it is like, I don't know if it's good. It's iconic. Like you could like blur that out like 20 times, and I would probably still recognize it. Like, oh shit, it's the cover from Fester's Quest.
Yep. Same here. I had it. No idea where it even came from. You just had it.
Oh my God, Adge Guy. Oh, I was just about to say this covered a core memory for me, and of course it was my brother because I don't hear anybody talk about this game. Here's Captain Skyhawk.
Jesus.
AJ says the Captain Skyhawk cover looks like a dolly rendering with a prop space fighter pilot looking at a jet. Man, he is right.
It really does look like that.
Yeah. I'm so glad there's like a grid superimposed on the Earth for some reason. There's like a fake TIE fighter by him. Oh God, I can't. In my mind, I just assumed that this game was the Top Gun game as a kid. Only looking at this now makes me realize that those were two separate games. That's incredible.
Shout out to Milton Bradley. Yeah.
By Milton fucking Bradley. LGN wasn't the only toy company just publishing NES games at the time.
Yeah, and this like weird sub, like they've just made the cover a small part and then made this border on the top and the right. It's a weird choice, but I love it.
It's probably the same like borders they had in their board games at the time.
Yeah, probably.
Silent Mill F says, it will never not be hilarious that Konami got away with tracing over Arnold Schwarzenegger for the Contra box art. That's right. It's actually just two Arnold Schwarzeneggers on that cover, and it's incredible. I love it. That's actually a good-looking box art, but also very cheap and sleazy kind of.
I mean, that's pretty common still to this day, especially for Japanese developers.
Superhuman or Super Harmon says Super Mario Brothers 2, probably because it's a fun, colorful image of Mario, but mostly because it was the only NES box I owned. My dad got us an NES on a holiday in Singapore, and always looking for a deal, took us to an underground electronics shop where we got the NES and a bunch of games that all had generic labels that I was too young to understand were pirated copies.
Yes.
Later, we were in a Toys R Us, and I got an official copy of Mario 2. That's becoming the only box NES game I had, because when we got the NES back to Australia, we found out about region locking.
Oh, no.
Man, can you imagine what it was like inside that underground Singapore electronics shop?
No, but it sounds like heaven.
It's interesting. Hosp says, easy one, Wario's Woods. Cleanest looking cover art. Actually looks pretty modern compared to many of the earlier releases. Brownie points for not a ton of crap. And
you know what it looks like?
What?
It looks like a Virtual Boy game because Wario and that red stripe at the top, it looks like a Virtual Boy game.
This is practically the same time as that, actually, Jeff. I mean, it's a very late NES game. Like people talk about the black box NES games. No one talks about the red bar NES games, but that was a thing. That was a flavor of NES box art. Speaking of black box, Mr. Bowler says, I got to go with the classic look of the Duck Hunt box art.
Yeah, that's good.
Got to see those blur lines they added to make it look like the duck is zooming past. Yeah, this is very good. I like the black box designs a lot. I specifically like Metroids, even though that's almost more of a gray box, but all the black box is good. In fact, Cringe McBasketball right after that says that'll always be the original Super Mario Brothers. Also, very good.
Yep.
Gosh, I love the whole thing, like action series, light gun series. Like it told you the genre or whatever on the front. It's just bizarre. One Up versus CPU says Ninja Gaiden 2. How do you top Ninja Gaiden's cover with a badass ninja in front of a city surrounded by fire? Put a giant flying dragon in the background of a badass ninja in front of a city at night. The dragon isn't even in the game. Oh, that city looks great. Oh shit, the Twin Towers are back there.
Oh no. Man.
It's a little busy. There's a lot of small text on it. It's not just like in one place, a little all over the place. I like how it literally says hard to beat on the box.
Yeah, it also looks a lot like a 90s magazine ad, and I like that.
Screaming Madden says, anticipation might have my favorite NES box art. Why? There's something about a picture of 8 very excited and real human beings with 2 of them playing the game that catches the eye. Also, fun fact, anticipation was developed by Rareware. Yeah, wow. Rare did a bunch of stuff like that. NES, like board games or game show games, that is a vibe.
Yeah, we should have a stream about those.
Yeah. I'm glad someone brought this. So Ghosts and Goblins for me, says Tink. I have very fond memories of the game itself, but that sublime 80s laser grid background, you can't beat it. So obviously the Mega Man 1 box art is bad, but it has that grid. I like all of the NES box arts that have like this formula. Like a lot of the Konami games had a kind of a set one that I think we'll see in a bit. The Capcom games did this for a while. There's obviously like the black box with Nintendo. I like that. I like that there's a format that some of them used. Dr. Mario for me, I just find it neat. Oh, look, hey, this is another red bar box game. Yeah, this one is pretty neat. Gosh, those I didn't realize how much the viruses just look like the Noid.
Yes,
from
they had that.
Until now.
Honestly, might be the same artist.
You can't beat Kirby's Adventure, says Dr. Suss. He's eating the actual cover. Another red box, and yes, there's some good creativity on display here. Look at that chunky boy.
Yep.
What a good boy.
He looks like a
I
friend.
love Kirby's Adventure. Fluffy Cloud Gamer says, I like how some had this template with exciting action pack stuff, and Wrecking Crew is just, hell yeah, manual labor, and it still looks great. Like, I'd put a poster of that up somewhere. That's awesome.
Yep, I love that.
It's me, Natalie Plorpman, says, Super Mario Bros. 3 is the undisputed king of NES box art. Yes, I have a soft spot for Euphoria, the saga that managed to grab 9-year-old me's attention every time I saw it at a friend's house. Man, I don't think I've ever seen this one before.
Yeah, me neither.
Sunsoft Jam. That is interesting. Speaking of Sunsoft, I don't know if anybody did it, but shit, what's that Sunsoft game that's on the NSO that I always say is surprisingly good to people? I told you about it. You remembered. Now I can't. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Something with an S, right?
Zilius?
Silius. Journey to Silius.
Journey
Thank
to
you,
Silius,
Jeff.
yes.
You're a hero.
Yes, you're welcome.
Giggy64 says, I never played Abadix, The Deadly Inner War, but I'll never forget the gnarly box art. Wow. There's another Milton Bradley jam.
Yeah, man.
What kind of game is this?
No idea. I wish they would put like action series or something on there so I would know.
I bet it's like a Galaga clone, or God, you get mad when I say it like
yes,
that.
I do. Of course I do.
Galaga
Thank you.
clone. You're welcome.
Motherfucker.
It's a shmup. Shmup would have been my other guess, Pablo. Thank you. Speaking of Pablo, his favorite is, he says, I still think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has one timeless box art. Take it straight out of the original comic book, sure, but still timeless. It is a little weird to me how it is so straight out of the comic books. Like, as somebody who watched the cartoon show, it upset me greatly that they all just had red bandanas.
Yeah, weird. It was a weird choice. I wonder if they only had the comic book rights at that time or something, or maybe they were starting making the game before they even like really realized what the cartoon was going to be, and they didn't go back and change the cover art while also like they had time to change the game characters or whatever. Yeah, it's a weird choice.
Jayton says, despite never playing the Castlevania games, I love the box art for Dracula's Curse. So I have one of these also, just like that Bubble Bobble thing I showed you for Dracula's Curse. This rules. Again, I like the kind of border thing. I like how they're doing the sort of, it's 3D because it's coming out of the frame. It's like when you upgrade your car in Marvel Snap. It's a border breaker or whatever they call it. Frame breaker.
Frame break.
Yeah.
Frame break.
But I think I even like even better, as Uncharted Wolf agrees. He says, I like the guy above. I never shut up about Castlevania. It's a franchise with some of the best of its genre, while also excelling in box art, except the U.S. Symphony of the Night. Boring as hell. That's true. The original Castlevania box art will always be one of my favorites, next to Order of Ecclesia. Good luck reading that, Mike. That's Order of Ecclesia. I got that. I know Castlevania. The art direction is perfect, as it signifies the evil of Dracula, as well as showing our hero, Simon Belmont. My favorite part of the box art will always be the choice of green that permeates throughout the artwork, giving it the sickly color that immediately grabs your attention. I think this might be the right answer. This rules.
It's great. I mean,
it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we really like it, but also there's so much good stuff going on. It's got a lot of good use of space and framing, and the sort of the tapered bars on the side is such a cool looking thing.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
I even like that it's gray, because like the NES is such a gray system, right? Like that box, like this. Yeah, this is something for the NES. Even the place, like just that logo, the placement of the Konami. It's so good. Gosh, I also look at those thighs. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, thick
Incredible.
thighs save lives.
Yeah. And then Turbo Sean says, cheating answer, all the black/gray box games. Specific answer, always had a soft spot for the Final Fantasy 1 box art. That inky black background, the bright, bold text, and simple but beautiful and very 80s fantasy illustration really sticks with you. Yeah, I do love, like, this is just what every cover of every 80s fantasy book also looked like. And it was great. We should have never have left this aesthetic. That's fantastic.
We're not going to do the Adventures of Bayou Billy?
I just realized I skipped it, Jeff, because there, right above that, by X-Core, is the Adventures of Bayou Billy.
There it is.
Which is, that we were saying I didn't have a neck. Look at that. Right?
You're doing better than Bayou Billy. I'll say that much.
Yeah. I like that it is also that same, like, that's that thing we were talking about with even much more going on. That's incredible. Konami was just so good on Nintendo, Jeff.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. On the NES, that was incredible. But that was a lot of fun, I think. So how about next week we do SNES? How's that sound, everybody?
I love it.
Good?
Let's do it. Yes.
All right, Jeff. I think we got some super chats. Why don't you read those?
All right. Let's start here with me scrolling down to say thank you to Paul Newhouse, who renewed their membership. Shout out to you. Then our buddy Big Jimbo Ryan wrote in to say, isn't it unfair that that Nintendo keeps this Mario fella all to themselves? And then he strokes his Jim Ryan chin. I should bring this up with my good friends in the UK.
Oh no!
You do that, Jim. Jim, then
one battle at a time, Jim. One battle at a time.
Exactly. Yeah, he who sends out two arrows will have them both returned against them. I don't know my Sun Shu, but whatever.
That's interesting. Is that Art of War?
Yeah, it's. I think it's Sun Tzu actually. That's Art of War? Yeah, maybe. And it's actually not the same. I think it's he who like shoots at two targets will miss both is actually what it is.
Let's see. That makes more sense.
Yes. And then he who like throws a rock should be sure it doesn't get returned against him. I mixed them up. Big Jimbo Ryan wrote back in and said, you guys would have loved that showcase we had canned.
I bet. How much Jumping Flash was going to be there? How much? Oh, I bet they're going to have the new Ridge Racer. Shit.
Huh? SoCom Mag 2?
Mag 2.
Yeah. Well, I Pets. What was it called? What was their iToy game? iTigers.
I like iPets now, so let's just go with that if that's not it.
Propaganda Panda. As Nintendo is a partial owner of the Pokemon franchise, and Pokemon franchise is the highest grossing franchise, I must ask, is Pokemon more famous than Mickey Mouse?
No, I think there's more people in the world who know who Mickey Mouse is than the concept of Pokemon even. That has to be true.
Has to be.
You know old people who don't know what a Pokemon is still. They all know who the fuck Mickey Mouse is. And yes, I know it's because he's old. I'm not saying like it's a fair fight. I'm just saying Mickey Mouse is
I tell you what,
well known.
If you could find out the status of Mickey Mouse's fame in relation to Pokemon in India and China, then I will shut up. But until I know what's going on in those countries with the stuff. Yeah.
My guess would be that Mickey Mouse still doing pretty fine over there.
I would imagine so. All right. From Passel of Hogs 420, Mike, did you get Mario Baseball for the GameCube yet?
No. Is that called Super Mario Sluggers, or is it just called Mario Baseball? I think it's just called.
Is it Mario Baseball? Yeah. Is it Super
there's
Sluggers?
one for the Wii, and there's one for GameCube, and they have different names.
Rusty's Real Deal Baseball is what they're called.
Yeah, I want to. It's on. I think it's on my to get list. I haven't been to. I kind of cleaned out the one rental store here, so I was giving a little time to restock. Maybe I'll give them a visit here soon. Mario Superstar Baseball. Thank you, Napper.
All right. Steve Sullivan asks, what are your realistic expectation for sales numbers for Pikmin 4? I'm hoping this one can cross 5 million. My realistic anticipation is actually closer to 3.5, 4 million.
We kind of got a little egg on our face thinking that Metroid Dread was going to be able to do 5 million, and it was unrealistic. Part of me would almost be mad if Pikmin sold more than Metroid Dread. Maybe mad is silly, but I mean, it could, but I think 3.5 sounds right.
From Slippery Moose Cakes, Heavenly Sword is the opposite of Hellblade. Wow, that's a really good point. Yes.
Yeah, I think people like at the time everyone was like, Heavenly Sword's fine until God of War shows up. They even put that character in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale at a point where like most people had already forgotten about her, so that was kind of funny. So I don't know. I mean, that's What's the Face. That is actually the people who made Hellblade. Now I think about it, huh?
Yes, it is
that team.
It is that team.
Theory.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a game I don't think we'll be seeing a new one ever, but that is like one of those stuck on PlayStation 3 things that would almost be interesting to play now.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, I should maybe go back and try that. I got a Steam Deck. I'll make it happen. From Mike Odyssey, saw that Nintendo renewed their Nintendogs trademark. Confirmed confirmed NG 2023. Lol, great stream. Was
NGB's new game.
Oh, okay. Confirmed new game 2023. Lol, great stream, and then the cry laughing emoji. I hope not, Mike.
I hope not.
Can't come for us.
So we're going to have to go on a good old-fashioned Nintendog murdering spree.
I was going to say go on the lam and do this from the road, from undisclosed locations. You want to just kill them all. Like God sort them out.
Gotta go a killing.
All right. Well, listen, I'm with you. You know I got your back on that.
Thank you.
All right, that does it for the Super Chats, though. If anyone else wants to send any more before we wrap up here, we will get to them 100% before the end of the show.
Jeff, I talked about Xenoblade. I've been playing a couple other things, but was there anything you wanted to bring up first?
I played Pilot Link 64 on Nintendo Switch Online, and it runs super good. It is super slick looking. They really did a great job with the emulation. They've really improved it. And that game's still my vibe. Just kind of getting in the gyrocopter, flying around, trying to get those perfect scores.
So
cozy, and just challenging enough that it's like, and the missions are quick enough that it's like I really can get into this for a long time. So it kind of reminded me, I like this and Wave Race 64. There was just a lot of stuff I really liked in the early days of the N64. Even after I was done with Mario 64. So yeah, just give me good warm fuzzy memories.
Let's say it's too bad we didn't get like a Pilot Wing 64 too, but that's like a weird quirk of that system. There were very few direct sequels on the Nintendo 64 in general. Yeah. Except for Mario Party. If you were Mario Party, you got them, but
I think they were just figuring out how to translate one game at a time into 3D. And so they weren't spending a lot of time figuring out what's the sequel to a game in 3D look like. They hadn't reached that point internally yet.
How many even are there? There's Majora's Mask, there's the Mario Parties. Like from Nintendo itself, like not many.
Not much.
There was no Mario 64 too, but there was a Pokemon Stadium too. That's true. Yeah. So Pokemon Stadium actually does count. Although granted, the first Pokemon Stadium was so ridiculously bare bones, and the second one basically was just adding to it. So, yeah, it's an interesting point. Anything else, Jeff?
Not really. I've really, like I said earlier this week or last week, whatever. I've been having a hard time getting my Switches away from my kids. So that's one of the main reasons I haven't started Sparks of Hope. Also, I've been very tired at the end of the nights when I have had time. But sometimes it's just like they have the Switch or they put the Switch somewhere and I can't even find it. So it's I'm gonna have to figure something out going forward. Maybe like keep the Switch with me until they earn some time with it or something. But
I mean, look, maybe what do I know? But do you get like mad at them? I'd get mad. I say that's my toy. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care about my attachment to you.
I'm still very much in the oh my god, they're playing video games phase of it.
Like it's magical.
Yeah, it's Well, I mean, right now it is magical. Addie is like 3 and is just crushing these games. she is figuring things out. She knows how to navigate the systems. She knows how to go from one Mario game to the other. And then she's going there and beating levels in Super Mario 3D World. She's been getting moons in Super Mario Odyssey. She understands what she's supposed to be doing. I'm like, how are you so good at this? And so it's kind of blowing me away. Emmy's been good at this stuff for a while, but she's like 5, which is like when I started playing games. And she's definitely better at games now than I was then. But still, it's like, I get it at 5. At 3, I'm just like, this is blowing me away. So when she like wants to play Mario, I'm like, yeah, of course, come on, let me set you up. Let's play Mario. And then I turn around and she's gone and has the Switch somewhere. And then I get a little frustrated, but mostly it's also, I got a million other things I could be doing. I'm like, okay, I'll play Call of Duty. Sure. I'll get to Sparks of Hope later. I am starting to get to the point where, okay, no, at the end of the night, I need to know where the Switch is. You got to tell me. So
yeah. You have to tell me. You can't hide it from me. I was doing a bit more GameCubing this week. I actually did a playthrough of Shadow the Hedgehog.
How'd that go for you?
It's not good. It certainly isn't one of the like all-time worst Sonic the Hedgehog. It's not Sonic 06. It's not Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. It is just ridiculous when like you start and it's like a Sonic the Hedgehog game, and you're Shadow and you pick up guns and you can like shoot people, and Shadow will say "damn" and stuff like that. But then also here's Sonic the Hedgehog and Charmy the Bee, like sounding the same, talking the same, just doing their same shtick. Like they are not in a different game. It's bizarre. The worst part is like, like people complain about how like video games won't shut up, but people telling you what to do. There cannot be a worse example of that in the world than this. Like each mission you can pick, each level has 3 missions. So you can either have Satan Eyeball telling you what to do. Sonic or one of his friends will tell you what to do if you want like the good path. Or you could do the neutral path, in which case Shadow just talks to himself constantly. So usually I was trying to do the good path, and it would just be Sonic never shutting up. Like the final boss fight, Sonic, who again has not stopped talking throughout this entire 2 hours practically, is yelling at me at the final boss fight, "Oh, well, Shadow, you should dodge the enemy's attacks." Or like basically something like that. I started screaming. I just started yelling. I was so infuriated at that point.
I mean, that's an insane thing to put in a game. Yeah,
it is. It is just
especially ridiculous. At that point. Like, I mean, even at the beginning, that would be frustrating to hear. But oh my god,
right? It's like obviously we all know like good game design is when you can teach players how to do things like organically, and this was just nah. Don't you know we can put voice in games now? We can just tell them. We don't
get
have
hit.
to do that anymore.
Fucking, what are we doing here, Sonic? What are we doing?
Get hit. Don't get hit by the enemy's attacks. Oh,
well, shit.
You told me that the final boss fight. Thank you so much. So, but the structure of it is neat because it's like whenever you get a good, bad, or neutral ending, it changes what level you go to next, and there's different endings. So it's a game you're meant to play through a bunch of times. That's kind of neat. It is still pretty janky. It does not have great level design. It does not look or run great. Still somehow has some pretty good music for the most part. So, look, it's not good. It is certainly no Sonic 06. Oh my gosh, that's right. There was like a cutscene with the president, and he's like talking about whatever the fuck is happening in the game. Who knows? And it like shows his desk, and there's a framed picture of Shadow with Sonic on his desk. Like I did not know pictures of his family. As far as I can tell, the only personal effect on his desk was this picture of Sonic. And Sonic is like doing he's like, ah! And Shadow's like doing his like bad guy looking over his shoulder, like kind of thing. And I'm like, why is this the only picture he has on his desk? Who took this picture?
We should sell photos like that on our store.
It was
of us, just us,
yeah.
and also Sonic and Shadow, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't somehow have a good time with it, but it was something. But otherwise, I've been actually playing a lot of Eternal Darkness, which is a very good game to play on October.
You played it before, right?
I played it before as a kid. I'm further than I ever was then. I think I got halfway through it back in the day. I'm not sure if I just got too scared or if I got stuck. But, now I'm a big, brave boy, so I can get through it all pretty easily. But it is still, like, spooky and fun.
Yeah. And cosmic horror is a cool kind of spookiness that I'm down with.
And even though it's like older, it doesn't feel like pure camp cheesy like playing the original Resident Evil 1 would, Yeah. It's still like actually kind of spooky. The sanity effects are still really clever and great and somehow still get me, even though I know about them. Like it did the one where it makes it look like your monitor's shut off. And I was like, oh no, my game broke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, immediately, of course that's a sanity effect. I know that. There's one, I used the healing spell, and instead my upper torso just explodes. And I'm like, uh-oh, I did something wrong. It's like, oh no. So I can't believe that this game, as good as it is, was somehow all downhill from here for that company.
Yeah, pretty
and
wild.
Downhill fast.
Yeah. Kind of never really did much after that. Not really.
Yeah. Must have been poor leadership.
I mean, who could say? Maybe it was a problem with their partners and Unreal Engine.
Yeah, it's probably Unreal Engine. It's probably Epic's fault. You might be right. But yes, actually holds up really well. Still has a ton of good style to it. Still a lot of fun to play. So I've actually been enjoying that a lot. It has a bit of that old school Resident Evil flavor, but pretty hard game to actually get stuck in. There was maybe one section where I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I just missed a door somewhere, so it was pretty stupid of me. But good stuff. But that is it, Jeff. I think we got one more super chat here, maybe two more. I don't know if you got this one from Achievement.
Yeah, it's not showing up. So let me read this one from Good Morning Games real quick. Hi, fellas. Any updates on Metroid Prime Remaster? I actually asked around about this today a little bit, saying, hey, what's going on there? And what I heard was it was planned, and it'd be weird if it didn't come out, but it's cutting it really close. To me, it feels like it probably isn't coming out in November. I suppose maybe it could be like Sean in the pre-show was saying, it could be like what they did with Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I have no idea if that's how they're going to do it. I think a 2-week run-up to releasing that game is kind of wild to me. I wouldn't expect that. I guess maybe it could still come out in December, or maybe they did delay it, and I just haven't heard that. But it was supposed to come out this holiday, and so we'll see. That's the latest on that. And if I hear anything new or more concrete after that, I'll definitely update you guys. But that's what I've heard. And then
so we got two. That's right. We got another one from a member that didn't. You're right. It's not showing up in stream elements. So we have two more we have to read here.
Okay.
I don't know how to find the other. I'll look for the other one while you read this one.
I don't see another one.
That's what I'm saying. We can't see it because we can't scroll up far enough anymore. But it was another one of these. We can't see it because
from Achievement.
You did it.
I gotta go Duck Hunt box art. Spoiler: the duck is not the main character. Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can play as the duck though.
We got another one from a member, and it was the one that I said, "This is funny. I can't wait to read it later."
Right. He said, okay, I know this because it's he's referencing Harvey. What's his name, for the Chicago Cubs announcer? I was like, if you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you eat yourself?
That's what he said. That's right. Yeah. If the moon were made of spare ribs, would you eat it? I would. Then I wash it down for tall, cool Budweiser. Yes.
Yes, I would.
Good job. Good memory, Jeff. Yes, it was the hot dog question. Thank you, everyone. This way from X-Core.
All right. It's not good memory. I'm just honestly always thinking about that question.
Yeah. I wonder why those aren't showing up in stream elements. That's annoying.
Yeah, it's stupid, and we will have to look into that.
Yeah. Hey, we're one away from 100. Somebody push a like button for my sanity's sake.
Hit that like button. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Mike, I'm going to hit the other button.
Do it. Hit those buttons, baby. You hit them so good. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. That was a fun time. You can find more of me on Twitter and Twitch at Tolkoto, and we will be back on Thursday with Game Mess Decides. Jeff, say words.
I am Jeff, and I'm on other podcasts on GiantBomb.com. Hit me up there. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. I'll try to stream on Wednesday nights tomorrow, although we're also going to be doing a live film in 40s for Hellraiser 2, I believe.
Shit.
That's the plan anyhow.
Through the series. How many Hellraisers are there?
There's like 11. We're not watching
like Tremors.
We're watching the first two. Yeah, like there's a whole Tremors situation going on. I don't know. Other than that, I'm just gonna be doing stuff on Giant Bomb all week. So find me there. Watch my stuff. I don't know.
Is Dan being a coward?
Yes. Yes.
Discussion on Thursday. Forgot. It's happening soon.
Happy Easter, Xbox.
Thank you,
I'll
Drake.
kill you.
Whoever it is.
I'll kill you.
That sounds
I've
threatening.
noticed that there don't seem to be any porno movies that are made for guys like me.
No!
All the porn I've come across was targeted
No!
at beer-swilling sports.
Oh, I haven't heard this
alpha
version yet.
males.
Stop!
Men who like their women stupid and
Stop
submissive.
streaming, Jeff!
I'm
Stop!
gonna hit it. I'm hitting the button.